By now, you probably have heard something about the Imiloa Astronomy Center, but in order to give it even a smidgen of its due, we're going to take you on our personalized overview of Imiloa, and we'll point out a couple of the sites we really think you'll be amazed at. Imiloa means to seek, explore, a fitting name for the $28 million, 40,000 square foot exhibition and planetarium complex that spotlights the early Polynesians who used stars to navigate the Pacific, and today's astronomers probing the frontiers of the universe. Occupying 9 acres in the University of Hawaii at Hilo's Science and Technology Park, the first thing you'll notice are the 3 cone-shaped structures clad in titanium, which pay visual homage to the Big Island's Hualalai, Mauna Kea, and Mauna Loa volcanoes. Once you've entered the main lobby area and passed under the clear skylight representing Mauna Kea, you'll find yourself walking through a simulated koa forest and hear songs of native birds. You'll see a scale model of Mauna Kea, then you'll be at the entrance to the Kumulipo Theater. Pause for a moment to hear Kupuna talk about honoring their origins in Hawaiian with English subtitles. Then take a seat in the Kumulipo Theater, where you'll experience an 8-minute multimedia presentation of the Kumulipo, the Hawaiian chant of creation. For some, this is the most important feature Imiloa has to offer. As you exit the Kumulipo Theater, images on the genealogy wall represent Hawaiian people from ancient times to the present. Next, you'll meander, hands-on meandering that is, through an expansive mix of exhibits focused on astronomy origins and astronomy voyaging. It would take a 1-hour show dedicated to Imiloa in order to give you the full lowdown, and frankly, this is the kind of thing that everyone with ties to Hawaii should experience firsthand. There's several more really important features that we'd like to point out, however, beginning with the exhibit area dedicated to Polynesian voyaging. This remarkable area traces the paths of early Polynesians who voyaged across the Pacific. At the heart of this area is the Imiloa, a 1/5 size, seaworthy model of a voyaging canoe, part of an exhibit where visitors can test their ocean-going navigational skills. In essence, it's all about celebrating man's yearning to explore. Next is an exhibit area dedicated to Hawaiian culture. From Hawaiian music and the hula to a recreation of a Hawaiian language immersion school classroom. It's a pause to celebrate tradition, innovation, Hawaiian language, and the movement to continued proliferation of Ka'olelo Hawaii. Then there's a planetarium, what will surely be a highlight of your visit to Imiloa. It's a state-of-the-art facility seating 120 people, featuring a 52-foot full-dome digital theater system with 6 projectors and 6-channel surround sound. Now that's the size of a 6-story building just for the theater screen. The seats are all sort of permanently reclined, as this big boy of a theater uses the entire ceiling as its projection screen, from wall to wall, resulting in an experience closest to actually being there. In simple terms, your peripheral vision is tricked out because you don't see the screen's edges. It's really like you're there. Absolutely amazing. And if that isn't enough, check this out. 4D2U, Voyage Through Space, a 3D theater. Before entering, you put on a pair of 3D glasses like they did in the 50s and experience a mind-boggling journey through space and time. We tried it out with our camera to give you the gist. We're talking exploding asteroids. Dude, watch out for flying chunks of space matter. With those glasses on, you'll think you're really there. Oh my gosh. There's so much more to experience at Imiloa, and oh so little time. Speaking of which, guess where the world's largest collection of Hawaiian indigenous plants are? We'll take you to it when Kama'aina Backroads returns to its visit to the Imiloa Astronomy Center on the cusp of Mauna Kea in Hilo, Hawaii. Come to Imiloa, Hawaii's premier interpretive center for modern astronomy and Hawaiian cultural traditions. Understand the Kumulipo Hawaiian chant of origins. Experience Mauna Kea, between Earth and sky on our planetarium dome. Discover Imiloa, the Big Island's authentic Hawaiian voyage through time and space. Welcome back to Kama'aina Backroads. When the decision was made to create this spectacular destination known as Imiloa, a fundamental objective was to establish a first-class educational facility that would link Hawaiian culture and history with scientific research. One remarkable aspect is that the facility's primary language is Hawaiian. I repeat, Imiloa's primary language is Hawaiian. I gotta say, I can't think of another destination in modern-day Hawaii that quite does this, particularly with this world-class panache that they've done so well. Kaiu Kimura is Imiloa's experience coordinator.
Leila oia kamanao a me ka ho'ona awa pu I ko ke ao no ko Hawaii ano he Imiloa a o he wā e pau ai ka ike e imi mau ana mai ka wā kahiko mai o nā loina o kamako mau pupuna he imi mau I ka ike hou maluna o ke kahua e awili I ke la ike hou me ke kahua Hawaii a puka hou aku nā mea hou. Nā leila oia mana o lana o Imiloa. Ua ike ia o Imiloa he wahi hou ia e ola ai ka olelo Hawaii. A oia ka pahu haupuni. E hoi hou ka olelo I kona ano he olelo ola. Mana wahi a pau o Hawaii. No leila I ka ho'omaka ana o ka ho'olala no keia wahi o Imiloa ua maupopo a kula ia mako o ka olelo Hawaii ana ka olelo mua o keia wahi. A he wahi hou ia e ka ko'o ai I nā kula ka mali'i, nā kula ha'a, kula waina, kula ki'e e imi pu ana I ke ola o ka olelo Hawaii. No leila he wahi ka ko'o hou ia I nā papahana ho'oi kaika maoli Hawaii. A ole no I ma'alahi ma ka ho'omaka ana a ole no I ka ko'o piha ia ke la mana'o e ka po'e a pau I komo I ka ho'olala a ka ua paiho no ua pupa'a o ka hua o ke la he hale hou ko kako piha I ka ola Hawaii.
Finally, you want to pay attention to Imiloa's one-of-a-kind gardenscaping. It's the largest collection of Hawaiian plants in the world. All of its nearly 50 different varieties are indigenous or were brought here by early Polynesian settlers. Hokua Pellegrino is Imiloa's cultural landscape curator.
Me keia o he alehua, he mea kanu a paakuma. No keia aina nei I ulu ai, I ho'okumu I ai keia mea kanu. Try and keep as much native plants here and keep the plants that were originally growing here of this particular area instead of bringing in plants from here, there, and everywhere. You know?
So when they constructed, when they decided to build,
they actually was to actually place the building in an area that wasn't going to disturb most of the native plants here.
How's that worked out?
Well, it's worked out really well. In fact, you can. One interesting thing that a lot of people ask when they when they look at this section is, they look at the puhala and they say, wow, they're kind of skinny and scraggly and whatnot. And the ohialehua, they're so tall and they're not really, the girth is not very large. Versus, say, when you go out to another particular area, Puna or whatnot. And the reason for that really is, when you look outside of Imiloa's grounds, what you see is the original landscape of what this place used to look like. Amongst the native, the endemic plants that were, growing there, the ohialehua, the hapu'u, like I was mentioning, you have things such as albizia and vaivi, which is strawberry guava. And the problem with that is it chokes out a lot of the native plants, a lot of the endemic plants. So when they cleared this area, what you see right here, amongst the puhala, the ohialehua, and some of the other native plants were all these foreign plants. And so what they were doing all these years, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, were choking out all these native plants.
Phew! And this is just the 6-minute version of the visit to Imiloa. Now then, pack a bag, jump on a plane, and run, don't walk, to this one-of-a-kind place we call the Imiloa Astronomy Center. And tell them Kama'aina Backroads sent ya.